everyone, today I'm going to talk about my most recent DNFs. So this is kind of a new series that I have started so that I don't have to include my DNFs in my wrap-ups anymore. So I'm going to talk about the last 5 books that I DNF'd and talk a little bit about why. Sometimes there's more reasons than others, but I just kind of wanted to let you know. And yeah, let's just get into the last 5 books that I DNF'd. So first I want to talk about Dividing Eden by Joelle Charbonneau. This is a YA dystopian and I only got 32 pages into this. I do have to say it's a short-ish book. I think it's like not more than 350 pages. This was not compelling at all. Like, I feel like in a dystopian, the first 30 pages, they really have to make you super interested in the world at least. And I didn't really click with the characters. I didn't think that the world sounded very interesting. Like, I don't think that there would have been anything in there to really interest me. And like, this could have turned out to be a 3-star read, but I could already tell that I didn't really think the journey was worth it either way. So I just decided to DNF it and let it go. There's more than enough dystopians out there that I know I will truly love. Then I DNF'd Elusive by Emily Lloyd-Jones at around 73 pages, I want to say. This is a YA science fiction and the protagonist is a girl who can kind of blend in with her surroundings, and she gained this superpower in this outbreak where just a couple of people got some special powers, but she was basically a criminal. And like, it was one of those stories where I feel like the character had like a really good heart and was like a really like actually good person, but then ended up doing like bad things. I don't know, I cannot really tell you why exactly I DNF'd this. This was a book that was a little bit out of my comfort zone, but at the same time, I really enjoyed this kind of genre in other media, and I was kind of hoping that this would be a little bit like the TV show Misfits, or that it at least would give me a similar vibe when it comes to the world building, but I just really found it boring, and I do feel like this expectation of Misfits kind of ruined this a little bit for me. It just seemed boring in comparison. It seemed like nothing special, nothing interesting. All the characters we got to know so far, they seemed very bland to me, and so nothing was really keeping me engaged. And yeah, even as I said, like the world building I think was something that I was really looking forward to, but it just seemed like a heist story in a kind of normal world with someone who had superpowers. I wanted more of that kind of world building and I didn't really get that. Probably would have gotten it if I had gotten more into it, but you know, my rule has kind of become life is too short and I didn't really think it was worth it. Then I DNF'd Under the Lights by Dahlia Adler, and I think this is the first DNF where I am giving this a big chance of returning to it. I only DNF'd this at 28 pages, but this is also a very short book, so this probably was also around 10% already. But I could not deal with both of these main characters because they were such huge assholes, and I don't know what it was, but in that moment I was just not in the mood for both of these characters being huge assholes, especially I'm just not in the mood for male characters being assholes and misogynists. I'm just like done with that. I don't enjoy reading about that at all. And I was not really ready to go through this book to get to the point where I know inevitably they are going to go through a change and they're going to be better people. I was just not in the mood when I picked this book up. So I decided to DNF it for now. I'm not sure if I will actually ever pick this up again. I do have to say that quite honestly. But if there's one DNF in the last couple of months or years that I am giving a chance of picking up again, it is definitely that one. And then I DNF'd something that I am a little bit scared to talk about because everybody was so excited for me to read this. Well, I don't feel bad about DNFing it, but I do kind of feel bad because, as I said, I know so many people were excited and I have not found like one bad review from people that I follow or like or are friends with of this book. So this is also why I give this a really fair chance. But after 136 pages, I finally then DNF'd Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. Now, I do have to say, if you don't know, I really did not enjoy Solitaire by Alice Oseman. I thought Solitaire was just awful. I really went into this being super excited. I did not kind of have a judgment of Solitaire influence this, because I knew Solitaire was a book that Alice Oseman wrote when she was super young, and I just had such high expectations for this one because, yeah, as I said, so many people that I know really love it, and I was really like sure that Alice Oseman had developed as a writer. I already realized pretty far into this that I can still very clearly tell that this is an Alice Oseman book and that I just do not like her character voices. I think her characters come across as super boring and dull, and immediately I kind of felt set back to Solitaire, even though, as I said, I really went into this kind of separated from each other. But as soon as I got back into this writing style, I just realized that I'm not really getting along with Alice Oseman's writing style and with the way she writes characters in particular. I still wanted to give it a chance. I still continued because I could definitely see that this is not as problematic as Solitaire was. I really couldn't see any problematic elements so far, so that's why I just continued and I was like, I'm gonna get into it. This is gonna be fine. But then, 136 pages, I think, is enough to know that I'm just not gonna get into this. I also just think that, I already had a problem with Solitaire where it had this tagline of, this is not a love story, and then it was a total love story. I don't understand how they came up with that tagline. I felt betrayed, and it's, just annoying. But with this one, it is definitely a friendship. Like, everybody says this has a great friendship between a guy and a girl, and that's definitely what it is. But you cannot just write a relationship where two people have a super strong chemistry and then just say, oh, but we're just friends, and then just be done with it. I simply did not find the friendship to be believable. I simply did not find that these two characters had friendshipy feelings for each other. And I know this is probably like a super unpopular opinion and lots of people are gonna like hate me for this, but like you also know I read a lot of queer books, so it wasn't about the gender roles in this one. I don't know, that's just something that really, really bothered me. You don't have to agree with me, you don't have to have read it that way, but that's how I read it. And so overall I just felt really, really underwhelmed with this book. And I think that DNFing this was better for all of us, because I don't think I would have written a very nice review about this, so might as well DNF it now, just say a couple of words about it and we're all happy and just let it rest. And finally, I DNF'd The Bells by Doniel Clayton at around 30% into the audiobook. I thought the world building super intriguing of like the people that are all kind of grayish, and then you have these beauticians who are making people beautiful, give them color and everything. So I really like this dystopian concept, but 30% into it, nothing had happened really, and nothing so far was very surprising. I didn't like any of the characters at all. I didn't actively hate any of them, but 30% into the book there should be at least one character that I want to root for, but I felt like I still didn't really know any of them and I didn't really know why I should be rooting for any of them. I think the world building fell flat so much. I didn't really get the concept, and I'm sure there's going to be some more like deeper messages in there throughout the book. But if I am listening to an audiobook and I feel like I'm so bored that I want to DNF it, then that normally means that I should definitely DNF it, because normally I'm someone who just gets through audiobooks like no problem, and then if I end up hating them, that's fine too. But if I have a feeling that I want to DNF an audiobook, that normally just means a lot. I went into this kind of like lackluster anyway, because it wasn't even on my wish list anymore. I just found the audiobook on overdrive, so I just decided to listen to it. But I also know that it has the bury your gays trope, so I wasn't like super excited about it, but I just wanted to give it a chance. But then when nothing about it intrigued me, I knew I didn't want to give it any more platform in my life. That sounds really dramatic, but you know what I mean. Anyway, these were all of the books that I DNF'd in the last couple of weeks. Let me know if there were any surprises in here. And yeah, if you have read any of these books or maybe also DNF'd them, I want to know your thoughts about them. And thank you so much for watching. I guess I'll see you soon. Bye!